Hello students, so now we are going to discuss about the classification of crude drugs, right? So when we talk about the classification of crude drugs, generally there are different types of crude drugs available, and these drugs are maybe belonging from the different category, maybe in activity point of view, or maybe in chemical point of view, maybe taxonomical point of view, maybe protein, maybe different types of their features, characteristic. So it becomes very difficult to find out the crude drugs, right? So that's what we need to classify the crude drugs. So we are going to discuss about the classification of crude drugs, right? In order to pursue the study of individual drugs, right? Why it is necessary to pursue the study of individual drug, system of classification it is required, right? And whatever the types of classification we are going to do for the crude drugs, it should be first of all, it should be simple one, it should be easy and free from any confusion, like whatever the drug you want to know and you want to get it the information, it should be free from any confusion, right? So there are different series of classification we are going to discuss, like alphabetical classification, taxonomical classification, then pharmacological classification, chemical classification, and chemotaxonomy and serotaxonomy. So right from the beginning, first one, alphabetical classification, right? So when we talk about alphabetical, crude drugs are arranged in alphabetical order, right? That's what A, B, C, D, that alphabet, the first letter we are going to take up the crude drugs, and accordingly we are arranging, right? I arranged in the alphabetical order of their Latin and English names, right? What name we are using? English name, maybe it is common name like senna leaf, right? So like that, or sometimes local language name also we are going to take, like vernacular name, like Mehendi we can say, like henna we can say Mehendi, or sometimes we are using some clove, we are saying the lavangam, or fennel we are saying soap. So like that name also can be included there. Okay, so some of the pharmacopoeias, some of the dictionaries, some of the reference books are available which have already classified the crude drugs into their database, like Indian Pharmacopoeia IP we are having, British Pharmacopoeia BP we are having, then British Herbal Pharmacopoeia BHP, United States Pharmacopoeia USP we are having, then British Pharmacopoeia, British Pharmaceutical Codex, that is BPC, then European Pharmacopoeia EP. So these are the pharmacopoeias or maybe reference book available. They have already classified the crude drugs or according to their alphabetical order. Now here the main point is to understand, like we are saying the alphabetical classification, right? So we need to know about the, if we talk about alphabetical, what are the examples we are having in alphabetical order, that we need to understand or we have to cover here, right? So when we talk about you might have studied A for apple, B for ball, right? So here it is going to have a different way. A for acacia, right? So in acacia, aconite, and so many other drug also you can mention here. A for acacia, B for bentonite, C for cinchona, D for datura, E for ephedra, F for fish, F for fennel, G for guar, H for henna, I for ipecac. So these are the simplest drug I have mentioned so that it will be easy to remember. J for jalap, then K for kurchi, L for licorice, then coming to M for we are having myrobalan, N for nux vomica, O for opium, P for podophyllum, Q for quassia. So in this Q there is no other drugs, right? So some drugs which is rare in the particular alphabet, that you need to take care, and here only the people will forget, because in R you are having so many other exam, R for Raulfia, R for rose, R for so many other things, right? S for senna, T for tobacco, U for Uncaria. So here I have taken the Uncaria gambir. So genus name I have taken. V for vinca, W for wool fat, X for xanthian, then Y for yellow beeswax. Here also no more drugs, right? Z for geodry. So this is the only one drug available in Z category. Z, U, Q. Here very rare drug, only one example it is there in so many books. They have not even given the example for these particular drugs, right? So that you can remember it. Okay, so here we are completing the alphabetical classification. Now coming to the next mode of classification, that is called a taxonomical classification, right? So when we talk about the taxonomical classification, as the name indicate, according to taxon, right, in this classification the crude drugs are classified according to their kingdom they belongs, their division they belongs, class, order, family, genus and a species, right? So we are having one example, very good example, licorice root, which is there, right, that is the glycoside containing crude drug in this this classification. So licorice root, that is Glycyrrhiza glabra, right? So here in phylum, when we talk about this drug, this root belongs to the phylum Spermatophyta, division Angiosperm, class Dicotyledons, order Roselles, family Leguminosae, subfamily Papilionaceae, genus Glycyrrhiza and species Glycyrrhiza glabra, right? So this example I found easiest one, and this is a popular drug which we are going to discuss in the glycoside section also, and in the we have seen in the classification, morphological and all other organized crude drugs. So this you can by heart, and you can easily you can write in the exam, right? Now the next mode of classification, that is the third classification, pharmacological classification, very important classification. So this you can understand how it is different from other mode of classification. Pharmacological classification, as the name indicate, according to the pharmacological action of the particular drug or biological activity, what kind of activity is having, it is having anti-inflammatory, analgesic or expectorant or anti-cancer, something like that. So in this system of classification, drugs are classified according to their activity, according to their pharmacological action, or maybe their therapeutic property. Okay, so let's try to understand the one by one, so that it will be easy to understand, and it will be easy to know about in our daily life also, right? Because we know that the primary remedies or home remedies is very important nowadays. We are not supposed to go to the allopathic or some other system of medicine. So in that point of view also it is important. In our daily life it is going to be useful. Drugs acting on GIT, gastrointestinal tract, right? So when we talk about the gastrointestinal tract, right from the beginning, from our mouth to our stomach, then duodenum, jejunum, small intestine, large intestine, rectus, anus, right? So it is going to be like that. So according to this point, what are the drugs it is going to useful in this, right? So anti-amoebic. So I have arranged this one in A, B, C, D, E, F, right, in alphabetical, like A, B, C, D. In this way I have arranged so that it will be easy for you to remind it. Anti-amoebic, right? So the drug which is acting against amoeba, which can be there in your digestive tract, like kurchi bark we are using, right? So here bark part will be having anti-amoebic activity. Then bitter, B for bitter, right? So bitter, cinchona we can use, which will be appetizer, right? Carminatus, fennel we are having example, right? Emetics for vomiting purpose, ipecac root it is there, fennel fruit it is there, right? Then purgative, senna is there, which will be increase the water reabsorption and which will help into the formation of fecus, right? So that it will be useful into the case of constipation and other thing. Laxative, banana also it will help into the formation of fecus, and that solid stool can form easily, and it can release by the our anus and this thing, right? So these are the drugs which can be useful into the digestive tract. That's what drug acting on GIT. It has arranged in A, B, C, D, E order, and a simple example has been taken so that you can easily remember it. Now second part, and second under pharmacological classification itself, drug acting on respiratory tract, right? So when we talk about the respiratory, we are having two lungs first of all, right? Again it is coming from the mouth only, nose, right? Air passages will be there here in this lung. What kind of things? Respiratory system, anti-tissue, again A B E alphabet I have arranged so that you can remember. Anti-tissue, opium. In opium we are getting morphine, codeine, so codeine is going to be useful. Then bronchodilators, right? So here different bronchocysts will be there. In pharmacology also you are going to study this, so which will be dilated by tea, where there will be the caffeine, and that will be useful. That's what it is recommended, that whenever you are suffering from cold you should have the tea. Then expectorant, licorice root is there, right? Expectorant, that's what we have seen into the taxonomical classification, this drug example only. So here also again expectorant, it is going to be useful, which will release the cough, right? Whenever in cold you are getting suffering from cough, that can be released from here. Third thing what we can have here is drug acting on cardiovascular system, right? Drug acting on cardiovascular system. So whatever our heart is there, no, tricuspid, tricuspid, and this pulmonary and all those things. So in this heart cardiovascular, what are the drug we are going to use here? To anti-hypertensive drugs for blood pressure, right? High blood pressure. Rolfia root is very famous example, it will be asked in GPAT exam also. Rolfia root is having anti-hypertensive activity. Cardiotonic, we are having digitalis leaf, very good example, it is also very important drug. Then vasoconstrictor, we are having ergot. So these three are very important in heart or in the cardiovascular system. Apart from that, we can have the example of drug acting on autonomic nervous system, right? In medulla oblongata, in spinal cord, whatever the autonomic L3, L4 nurses that veins will be there, no? So this is spinal cord. What are the drug we are going to useful? We are going to use it, like for here again A and C I have arranged again in alphabet so that it can be easily rememberable. Adrenergic drug, so we are having example ephedra. Anticholinergic drug, dhatura is there, dhatura leaf. Ephedra is stem, right? Dhatura leaves we are having. Then cholinergic drug, pilocarpus, right? Pilocarpus is there. Then coming to the next fifth one, drug acting on central nervous system, right? Central nervous system we are having. So whatever the in our brain, that's what I can say. Okay. So in the central nervous system, what are the drugs we are going to use? Like CNS stimulant, right? So just tea and coffee. So why we are supposed to have the tea and coffee? Whenever we are having tea and coffee, our mood it will boost, or we will feel fresh because of the in tea caffeine it will be there, that will be stimulate your CNS, right? So that is their pharmacological activity. CNS depressant, right? So there are drugs like opium and belladonna, atropa belladonna and papaver somniferum. In these there are the chemical like morphine, codeine, heroin, atropine and all those things. They will be having depressant activity. Central analgesic, right? Opium, morphine, very good example of central analgesic, right? Whenever the particular person in, that's what morphine is being used into the by the Indian army, by the terrorist. Whenever you are in the war and you are injured very badly and there is no hospital facility, so in that case you are supposed to have the morphine injection, because it is having central analgesic, the entire body will become painless. That's what it is useful, right? Now coming to the sixth one, we are having anti-cancer. For anti-cancer we are using vinca and podophyllum. Then enthelmintic, we are having cassia wood, actually this is nothing but wood. Okay. Astringent, we are having myrobalan fruit, right? Myrobalan fruits, that is very mother herb, it is called behra also it is called, right? Whenever you are suffering from cold and cough and continuously you are coughing, in that case myrobalan fruit, if you chew or if you put into your tongue, that saliva will extract something which will stop the coughing. Anti-malarial, cinchona bark is there. Artemisia, very important, recently somebody got Nobel Prize in this, right? Then local anesthetics, we are having coca plant, right? So these are the different drugs which you can by heart, and you can score good marks, and at the same time it will be useful for your further study in your pharmacognosy. And these natural drugs are having very use and important activity in the different system of the body. Thank you.